Welcome. My name's Bob Gonyea. I'll take you through a tour of NSSE's Major Field Report 2023 designed in Tableau. You're looking at the Start page, which includes basic information about the data on the left, and orange, blue, and green menu buttons to various dashboards within the report. The 5 orange buttons link to within institution dashboards that show results only for your institution, with up to 10 major groups arranged in side-by-side displays. The 4 blue buttons link to between institution dashboards showing your students' results alongside those at a customized comparison group. The green button links to a new display of all questions and scales alongside the customized comparison group. I want to acknowledge that dashboard pages may load slowly at first. The underlying database is large, including data provided by more than 400,000 students from nearly 900 colleges and universities that participated in 2022 and 2023. The Tableau workbook includes 12 dashboards that draw from more than 80 separate worksheets. If dashboards have trouble fully loading, try refreshing the page. Now, let's start by customizing our results on the Define Groups page. The Define Groups page is divided into 4 sections labeled A, B, C, and D. In Section A, select a class level. I'll select first-year students. The total number of respondents by class is shown in the middle. Note that the results are limited only to students who identified a major on the survey. In Section B, you can customize up to 10 groups of related majors. Groups are preloaded with NSSE's 10 default categories, such as Arts and Humanities for Group 1, Biological Sciences for Group 2, and so on. Each list of majors shows the number of respondents and a group total. If you prefer to keep the defaults, I recommend deselecting those majors where you have no respondents. Be sure to hit the Apply button after every change in selections. These counts include both first and second majors identified by the students. You're free to create any groups of majors that make sense for your institution, and you can include the same major in 2 or more categories. Keep in mind that the group total must be at least 5 for results to appear, but also that results require a sufficient number of respondents per group to provide a reliable estimate. If a group total is less than 5, the number will be shown in red, as you can already see here with group number 8 in this example. In Section C, you can customize student backgrounds and experiences. Filters include race, gender identity, transfer status, and so on. With each filter, the counts will reduce. Keep an eye on major group counts to be sure that they're still sufficient. By the way, if you plan to apply multiple filters, I recommend hitting the Pause button in Tableau's toolbar. Otherwise, the dashboard will take time to recalculate for each new setting. For demonstration purposes, I will remove students who were taking mostly remote courses, and also those who were missing on this item. After setting all filters, don't forget to hit Resume to refresh the data display. Notice now that the total number of respondents is lower and that Group 10 has also been reduced to fewer than 5 respondents and the text is red. Let's leave that as it is for now. In Section D, customize the characteristics of your comparison group for the between institution results. Data from all institutions with standard administrations that participated in 2022 and 2023 are available. Your institution is not included in the comparison group. The number of institutions is displayed at the bottom of Section D and must contain at least 5 for results to be shown. Let's restrict our comparison group to those institutions that are doctoral level with very high research activity. Now you'll see that the number of institutions has been reduced to 50. To reset the student and comparison group filters in sections C and D, select the Reset C and D Filters button. To reset all selections on the page to the default settings, including the 10 major groups, you need to close the browser window and reopen it using the link provided in the institution interface. Now, let's go back to the Start page to see the menu of dashboards again. Notice that you can also see the dashboards in tabs along the top. Once you're familiar with them, you may prefer to use these shortcuts rather than always returning to the Start page. But let's see results for the EI and other scale summaries dashboard. This dashboard shows means and counts for the 10 engagement indicators, the sense of belonging scale, and the perceived gain scale. Results are shown for all majors and for each of the 10 major groups identified in the Defined Groups dashboard. Notice that major groups 8 and 10 are blank because the number of respondents for each is less than 5. When you roll over the values, you'll see the standard deviation and the variable name. At bottom, the Student Filters Applied footnote summarizes the filters you applied on the Defined Groups page. Notice that it says we selected students who were not remote. Also notice that on this dashboard and all others, you can easily toggle between the class level next to the label. However, we'll keep viewing results for first-year students. Now next, let's say I'm interested in what's happening in collaborative learning in more detail. We'll go back to the Start page and select the individual EI and other scale results dashboard. On this dashboard, the default view is for the higher order learning engagement indicator. To see collaborative learning results, select it from the menu on the left. Once it refreshes, what you see is a series of bar charts showing the variation in collaborative learning across the major groups. Of course, groups 8 and 10 are still blank because of the low counts. Below each figure are the response frequencies of the individual items that make up the engagement indicator. You can roll over the figures and the frequencies to get additional information in the tooltips like variable names and counts. Again, the student filters are shown in the footnote at bottom. The additional white space here is to make room for scales that have more individual questions for the display. All engagement indicators and scales are laid out in this format, so I won't show them all. Just select a different one from the content menu on the left side. Next, let's look at high impact practices. I'll select that dashboard using the tab on the top, W:HIPS. The display on this dashboard shows bar charts of the percentage of students who participated in each of the high impact practices. However, for first-year students, the results for internships, study abroad, and capstone experiences show the plan to do results and are in a different color. We also show the percentage of first-year students who have done at least one HIP. For seniors, you'll see the percentage of students who have done each of all 6 high-impact practices. And it shows the percentage who have completed 2 or more HIPs. I'd like to note that Tableau gives you the option to download results as images, PDFs, or even PowerPoint slides. To do this, select the Download button in Tableau's toolbar and select the appropriate format. So next, how about if we review one of the Between Institution dashboards? Going back to Start, they're in the blue buttons on the right side. Let's select EI and other scale comparisons. On this dashboard, like before, you need to select the content to display, but this time the scales are grouped in pairs. For example, the engagement indicators higher order learning and reflective and integrative learning are on the same display. The between institution dashboards show your results and the results of the customized comparison group for one major group at a time. The page is preloaded to show all majors, but you can use the pull-down menu to change the group at any time. Let's change it to group 5, which is the business group. Now, while it's loading, I'll point out that the list of majors and their counts are displayed in tables on the right side. There's a table for both your institution and for the comparison group. You might notice that the comparison group contains more majors than your institution. For example, the comparison group list includes students majoring in organizational leadership and supply chain and operations management. If this is a concern, you could return to the Define Groups page and deselect any majors in that group that have no respondents for your institution. In the footnote at bottom, in addition to the student filters, you'll also notice that there are comparison group filters, and it shows that we have selected only those institutions that are doctoral level with very high research intensity. One more thing to point out is when you roll over the comparison group results, you can see that the number of institutions is 50 in this case. The last dashboard I want to show is titled All NSSE Items and Scales, the green button on the Start page. It's like all the other between institution pages with the comparison groups and so on. But it includes one long dashboard with all NSSE survey items on the left, including items that are not part of any of the engagement indicators or scales. It also displays figures for all the scales on the right side. The items are organized by content area with labels on the left margin, starting with high impact practices, each of the engagement indicators, and so on. But if you scroll down, you'll see all the time on task questions, satisfaction questions, and other standalone questions on the survey. So that's about it. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any feedback on the Major Field Report, please don't hesitate to contact us. There's a link to a simple form in the lower right corner to a Qualtrics form. And you can always just send us an email, nse@indiana.edu. Thanks.